Sinai El Heharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim Va'aretz Ezri Me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim Va'aretz Ha'itein lamod raglecha Hayanum shomrecha Hine lo yanum velo ishan Shomer Yisrael Adonai shomrecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Adonai shomrecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka ve'yareach balayla Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra Yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam Al mikoma tavo v'shalom. We begin with a psalm, Psalm 121. Shir Lama'alot, a song for those who ascend. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from Adonai, from God, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. You see, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian, your protection at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. God will guard your going and coming now and forever. May our beloved Melissa go unto God in peace. Hatzur tamim pawalo kichol drachav mishpat el emunah ve'inav el tzadik v'yashar hu. Tzadik atah Adonai lamidu lahachayot asher beyadcha pigadon kol ruchot chalila lecha zichronenu limchot. V'yihiyu na'inech barachamim v'nefkuchot ki lachadon harachamim v'haslichot. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach yehi shem Adonai mevorach. God has given, God has taken away, blessed be the name of God. V'hu rachum yechaper avon v'lo yashchit v'hirba lashiv apo v'lirkol chamato v'yashov ve'afar la'aretz she'aya ve'haruach tashuv el Elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May Melissa's soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal, and may God send comfort to those who mourn and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Whether you've joined us in person or are joining our broadcast online, we are here today to do something truly painful and difficult. To say goodbye to a beautiful, strong, and inspirational woman, Melissa Rodriquez. The daughter of Susan Sheriff and Pedro Rodriquez, known by the Hebrew name Chaya Mindel Bat Surafega. Melissa passed away Tuesday, the 25th day in the Hebrew month of Av, after a courageous battle with cancer. Taken away far too young and far too soon. She was 46. She will be lovingly missed by her husband, David Thomas, and his sons, Kevin and Grant, by her mother, Susan Sheriff, her father, Pedro Rodriquez, her aunt, Risa, her uncle, Ernie, many other relatives, and many, many friends, so many of whom are here today. Thank you for showing your support. In Jewish tradition, to honor a person with a eulogy and to accompany her to her final resting place is the highest form of respect our tradition knows to offer. We have done that today. So again, thank you, and thank you for joining your hearts together, the hearts of Melissa's loved ones, to bring them courage and strength during this truly painful time. In a moment, I'll be calling up Dave to share some words that he has written in tribute, a eulogy for Melissa. But let me begin by saying there's no denying that Melissa's death is a tragedy. With her beautiful smile, her great sense of humor, her kindness and her generous spirit, her all-around positive attitude, Melissa brought happiness and joy to everyone she met. She always saw the best in everyone, put her heart into every relationship, and always gave the best of herself. From childhood friends in Toronto and cousins and other relatives around the world, to colleagues and clients she met and worked with in her first career in manufacturing, to her new family here in Winnipeg in Sage Creek at the kickboxing gym, and even to folks she saw infrequently at the bank or the grocery store. Melissa always raised people's spirits and made them smile. She's been described as a fantastic ball of light. And for her to be tormented by cancer the way she was, and to be taken with so much life and love still to give to so many people, it's just the worst thing. All of us who knew her, our hearts are broken. In Jewish tradition, we have this saying: death is better than a life of pain, and eternal rest is better than a constant sickness. We've read these words many times at funeral services before. Today, as we say them again, we pray that Melissa is at peace after experiencing more suffering than any person should have to endure. But we still struggle to make sense of what has happened. There's a story the rabbis tell of a debate that took place once in heaven. A brand new, beautiful soul had just been born, and one group of angels steadfastly refused to let this soul go down to earth, where it would, they feared, be corrupted. But another group of angels demanded it be sent to earth because of all the good it could do. After all, souls are created to bring good into the world. The two sides, the two camps of angels could not agree, so the debate came before God, who decided on a compromise. The soul would indeed go to earth, but only for a short time. Everyone agreed, with the second group of angels saying, even though her time is short, every day she is on earth is a blessing. The lesson is clear. Some souls are so beautiful and so special that they only need a short time on earth to make a huge impact and change the world. And so it was for Melissa Rodriquez. She was strong-willed and determined, the true definition of a fighter, never giving up, facing all comers and all challenges, even to the very end. That's how she got her kickboxing nickname from Dave, Hot Rod. Fiery, feisty, passionate. An inspiration to the rest of us to push ourselves harder and farther and to strive to be better. And amazingly, at the same time, she was sensitive, sweet, and compassionate. She was honest. She was direct. She was a true people person. I remember the day I met Melissa and Dave. There was an event called a Bark Mitzvah, where dog owners in the community were encouraged to bring their, as Melissa would say, fur babies, for a special meet and greet at the synagogue and a communal blessing. Melissa and I had never met before, didn't even know each other, but that didn't stop her from coming right up to me, introducing herself and launching into a conversation about who she was, who her family was, and if maybe I would one day officiate her and Dave's wedding, which I'm very honored to say I got to do last summer. Like everyone else here and everyone else watching, I was taken that day by Melissa's spirit and her energy, and even more taken as I got to know her and Dave in planning their wedding. I marveled at the way she fought cancer, not just in recent years, but also when she was young, as a teenager, at how positive she was, how upbeat, in spite of how life had handed her so many lemons. I appreciated what some may call a stubbornness. The young lady who I'm told defiantly told her mother on more than one occasion, "I'm not going to let you do to me what Zadie did to you." Zadie being her grandfather, Norman Sheriff. After all, we are talking about a woman who opened a gym with Dave and the next day started chemotherapy. A woman who became a personal trainer while battling cancer and fighting for her life. She's remarkable. I remember how proud she was of her family and her Jewish roots, how lovingly she spoke of her Zadie Norman and her bubby, Nellie Sheriff, how adventurous she was and willing to try new things, that no just wasn't in her vocabulary. If she didn't know how to do something, she figured it out. She and Dave pivoted careers, opened a kickboxing gym with no background at all. She tried paddleboarding, fishing, and golf, and she always believed she could do it. And I remember being taken by how much she loved Dave, by their story, their connection, the way they got each other, made each other the best versions of themselves, and gave each other the feeling of, as Melissa put it, complete love. I'll call Dave in just a moment, but I'll conclude my portion with another line we've used at funerals before. Death will come. We are all destined to die. And when it does, we cannot come into judgment with it. Our questions of why will never be answered. All we can do is hope that when death comes, it takes us from a world, one corner of which is just a little bit better because we were there. Melissa, we thank you for making our corner of the world better. Dave.
of all, thank you all for coming. It's been a difficult week, to say the least. So here we are, a day that somehow, even with all it has transpired in the last few years, I never really envisioned in my own mind that it would be a possibility. I mentioned to Melissa and a few family members and friends that I thought the past month was one of the hardest, most challenging experiences of my life. I have to say that I was wrong. This week is actually way harder, and today is probably the hardest day of my life. Sorry, I can't see because I have tears in my eyes. But at least in those previous years, which I said were harder, I had Melissa by my side, and that made things obviously a ton easier for me. Please forgive me if I'm unable to read this in its entirety, because I'll do my best to get through it. And Matthew's going to help me with a couple of things. Well, I am tempted to just yell out, "Life is not fair." I can honestly say that those words aren't completely true. Although cut short by a relentless illness that we fought so hard to control. The time I had with Melissa was truly special. Even though we were away from our friends and families for the past 4 months, we were able to spend every second of every day together, and we never had any regrets. If you know our story, it's been a pretty tough few years, and our lives have changed and been turned upside down many times. Yet somehow, we never changed. We just kept moving forward to the next challenge. I have Melissa to thank for molding me into the man I am today. Sometimes people say that you can never change a person, but believe me, with the right person by your side, you can do anything you want to do. Melissa touched so many people's lives, and I see that even more now as the amazing messages and condolences keep pouring in. Even on our journey to Arizona, she touched lives of everyone she came into contact with. In particular, I need to mention 2 amazing doctors who always went the extra mile for both of us. Melissa's radiation oncologist, Dr. Gordon Grotto, is just an amazing human being. And these are a few words from Dr. Grotto that I'd like Rabbi Leibel to read for me.
As David said, this is from Dr. Gordon Grotto, the radiation oncologist. The entire office stopped what they were doing when we received the sad news regarding her passing. That's not surprising, as everyone in the office had been touched by her presence, her energy, her love of life, and the love that she had for her family and husband that she shared with us. I had really never met someone so much alive and smiling despite all of the challenges and problems that burdens her due to the cancer diagnoses and treatments. Nothing seemed to get her down. I studied her carefully to try and figure out what it was that so energized her, and found the solution was easy. It was her family and Dave. Not one of our visits went by that she didn't redirect the discussion from herself to talking about them, how much she missed them, and how lucky she was to have someone like Dave there to support her. Dave and Melissa were inseparable. Melissa had a long, hard struggle and fight with cancer. Cancer is neither fair nor relenting, but I never saw her give up. Her family and Dave were the keys to her struggle. This clearly gave her the strength to push her healthcare providers to the maximum to help her in this battle. Unfortunately, cancer is a 24-hour-a-day demon that usually wears down its opponent. Melissa, however, would look for the best in the worst, to try to find even the smallest indication for optimism. She has changed the lives of all in our office with whom she has touched both directly and indirectly, and even the patients with whom she shared a waiting room. Her memory and love of life lives on, imprinted on each of us. We can't thank you enough for sharing your Melissa with us and blessing us with her presence.
Just another amazing doctor who crossed our path was Dr. Payam Azima. He was the hospitalist at the Honor Health Hospital. Melissa was in for 18 days, probably about a month ago now. And these are a few of the words from Dr. Azima.
My deepest condolences to you and your loved ones. I miss her also. She was beyond precious and quite extraordinary in every way. You have been an exemplary husband. She couldn't ask for a better soul on this earth to be with. This is tragic beyond words. She showed non-parallel courage in the face of indomitable odds. She will always be remembered as a portrait of how we should all hope to see ourselves when facing adversity.
I tried to read those messages a few times and I couldn't get through them, so I had to ask Rabbi Nayab to do that for me. Melissa has always been an amazing woman. Obviously, that was part of my attraction to her. And of course, being incredibly beautiful didn't hurt either. The day we got married was one of the highlights of our lives. We both waited a long time for that day. And didn't she look incredible there? When you're thinking about Melissa in your heads and in your hearts, I want you to remember her on that special day. So happy and incredibly gorgeous. Melissa was a fighter, a champion, and my hero. I am truly thankful for our time together. Oops. Melissa will forever be missed by all of her friends, family, and her fur babies. I would like to read you a song lyric by Rascal Flatts. Music was an important part of our daily lives, and I always wanted Melissa to listen to the lyrics rather than just play the song and listen to things what they were meaning. And this is one that has kind of stuck with me for a while now, and I'm just going to read it to you. Except there's a little thing in my way here, so hold on a second. All right. It's called I Won't Let Go. It's like a storm that cuts the path. It breaks your will. It feels like that. You think you're lost, but you're not lost on your own. You're not alone. I will stand by you. I will help you through. When you've done all that you can do, and if you can't cope, I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. It hurts my heart to see you cry. I know it's dark, this part of life. Oh, it finds us all. And we're too small to stop the rain. Oh, but when it rains, I'll stand by you and I will help you through. When you've done all that you can do and you can't cope, I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. And I will hold you tight and I won't let you fall. Don't be afraid to fall. I'm right here to catch you. I won't let you down. I won't let you down. You're gonna make it. Yeah, I know you can make it. Because I will stand by you. I will help you through. When you've done all that you can do and you can't cope, I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight and I won't let go. Oh, I'm gonna hold you and I won't let go. I won't let go. No, I won't. I'm gonna miss her like crazy. And as we always do every single night, I want to tell you I love you, baby. Time's eternity.
Thank you, David, for sharing something so beautiful with all of us. It's my honor now to chant a prayer known as the El Malei Rachamim, the traditional Jewish memorial prayer. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Ba'meromi, Hamitzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShchina B'malot Kedoshim Uteorim Kizohar Arakia Mazhirim Et Nishmat Chaya Mindel Bat Surafega She'alcha Le'olama Began Eden Tehei Menuchata Anabal Harachamim Hastirea Beseter Kenafecha Leolamim Utzror Mitzror Achaim En Nishmata Adonai Hu Nachalata V'tanuach b'shalom Hamishkava V'nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Melissa Rodriquez, Chaya Mindel Bat Surafega, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that she find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. In a moment we will conclude our service with the recitation of the mourner's Kaddish prayer, and then the ritual of shoveling earth into the grave. In our tradition, to do this is what we call a mitzvah, a righteous act which we do without any hope of reward, something truly selfless. With this act, we as a community take on the responsibility of caring for our loved one until the very end. We believe strongly that our loved ones deserve to be buried by our own hands. Kind, knowing, sorrowful hands. Hands that once held their hands. We'll invite the family to begin, but everyone present is invited to participate in this ritual. If you want to use gloves or hand sanitizer, there is a station right here in front of me where I'm pointing. The traditional custom is to pour 3 shovelfuls of earth, but then there are different customs. Some people use the front of the shovel, some people use the back. Some people return the shovel to the earth, some people pass it to the next person. Whichever is the custom with which you are familiar or which makes sense and has meaning for you is the one you should embrace. And if the large shovels seem a little too daunting but you want to participate, just in front of me here there is a pail with a small shovel that works beautifully as well. It is a painful act, but it's also an act born of love and compassion for someone who meant so much to all of us. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. We said these words earlier and we say them again. They come from Job, the epitome of suffering in the Bible. God you have given, God you have taken away, blessed be the name of God. May the memory of Melissa Rodriquez be a blessing, as we mark that her essence will never leave our hearts and our souls. Before we turn to the shoveling, we recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudsha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us, to all Israel, and to all of humanity. And again, let us say, Amen. Thank you again to everyone for your show of support and respect for being here today. Thank you to everyone who has tuned into our broadcast of this service who couldn't be with us in person, but we feel your presence truly. At a Jewish funeral, we conclude with words in Hebrew and English for the family. We say, Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim, which translates to, may you be comforted and consoled. May God comfort and console you among all those who are or who have ever been in mourning in our community. During these times, still in a pandemic, we can't have the familiar Shiva ritual, where we turn our attention after the service from honoring Melissa to comforting her family, her loved ones. But we can still send messages, emails, text messages, phone calls. I encourage you to do this, to continue staying in touch and help the family through the early stages of a very, very difficult time. I invite the family to lead us in the shoveling. And again, I'll say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you so much.